All right, Wednesday, which I can aptly describe as that 3rd and 4 on the drive that you barely get, but it helps extend the drive into the weekend where you eventually score. Right? Isn't that kind of like what Wednesday is?
Like you hit him in the flat and he extends the ball, and
that's right. Or like
and then the ref goes like this.
You throw the check down and the nickel's right there. It's 3rd and 4, and they kind of hit at about 3 yards, and he falls forward. You get that first down.
The drive continues.
The drive continues.
That's how it is.
Right.
So what does that make Friday? The deep shot.
No, yeah.
The deep shot over the top.
That makes Friday one of two things: either the deep shot off play action that gets you inside the 5, or that pass interference on the fade ball in the end zone that puts it right at the 2.
We like completions, so yeah, over the top. So Monday's like that 1 yard run on first down, and
Mondays we just ran inside zone to test the waters. It's second
and 9. Okay.
Yeah, just trying to feel it out to see how it goes. But we're going to feel out this Wednesday. I'm interested to get to calls. The Rangers sweep the Orioles to advance to the ALCS. The Braves take on the Phillies tonight in Game 3, and we preview the top college football matchups in a loaded Week 7 with Brandon Marcello from 247 Sports. I'm Jake Crane, and let's get 3rd and 4 together on Crane & Company. Now, obviously, everybody associated with Notre Dame football right now is pissed off, and they should be. They've blown their chance at the playoff after not being able to count to 11 versus Ohio State a couple weeks ago. Then they got absolutely shoved in a locker by Louisville up front last weekend when they clearly had a personnel advantage in the trenches. Notre Dame fans are let down, and they should be as well. And all the excitement of welcoming Sam Hartman in and getting off to a good start has now really just turned to anguish and disgust. Now, the question becomes, what do you do about it? You going to sulk as a team or throw in the towel? Do you cry and you complain that it's not fair? No. You lay down and you bleed a while. Then you get back up and you go embrace that anger against a USC team that's coming in with a ton of expectations. You line up and you play the way Notre Dame was supposed to play this year, overtly physical while making no apologies about it. Now, Marcus Freeman has too much motivational talent, and this group has too much experience and pride to just lay down and completely die, especially when they can hand out some disappointment of their own this weekend against the Trojans. Now, look, I'm not a Notre Dame fan or a Notre Dame homer. In fact, my grandfather was in the Navy, and to be honest with you, he couldn't stand those guys or anything they stood for. But USC rolls into South Bend on Saturday. You're going to see a pissed-off Notre Dame team playing with an edge, I think. And while USC does have an elite offense, nobody is questioning that. This team looks vulnerable in all of the places that a Lincoln Riley and Alex Grinch combo coach team are typically vulnerable, and that's on defense. In fact, the Trojans rank 99th in opponent yards per game. They give up over half a first down per play, and they're almost dead last in the country in opponent red zone scoring. Now, if there was ever a time for the Fighting Irish to get back to doling out the pain up front, it's in this game. Now, I'm sure Sam Hartman isn't all rainbows and lucky charms right now either, after his performance last week yielded more turnovers than a pissed-off HR department. Now, totally stopping this USC offense is borderline impossible, but you can control the clock, and you can frustrate them by making them play a slower style of game and limiting their possessions. But at this point, Notre Dame just needs to go score the ball. The waiting game has nearly and totally cost them at different points throughout the year. Run it, play action it, and let those arrows fly downfield. Be explosive. Now, you may not see a championship team this Saturday in South Bend, but you will see one that's pissed off. And at this point, they're Irish. At least they have that going for them. I'm going to bring in my co-host, former Michigan quarterback David Cohn, my brother, former Western State Colorado wide receiver. Excuse me if I sound a little funny. This weather change got me a little stopped up. Throat a little scratchy.
You make it through. It's 3rd and 4.
It's 3rd and 4. That's what I'm saying. You put your head down. Let's get it. Let's finish together. But David, when you look at this matchup, everybody's saying that Notre Dame's going to be down, and now that all hope is lost, really, for a playoff berth. And this is one of the negative parts of not being in a conference, even though they're playing a really tough schedule. You don't get that conference championship game, like let's say maybe an LSU, if they run the table with 2 losses, or a Pac-12 team or something like that. But I think we're going to see the opposite.
You do?
I think you're going to see a Notre Dame team that realizes, yes, they are the spoiler, but there's still a lot they can achieve this year.
Absolutely.
This is a rivalry game.
Absolutely nothing would surprise me right now. I wouldn't be surprised if what you're saying comes to fruition, where Notre Dame comes in a big rivalry game, plays with a lot of pride, and ends up beating USC and beats them badly. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a back-and-forth game that kind of turns into a shootout where the last team with the ball wins. I also wouldn't be surprised, the way I've watched Notre Dame play these last few weeks, if USC just came in there and just absolutely rolled them. Now, the 44 yards rushing for Notre Dame against Louisville, look, I still think this Notre Dame is a good football team. I think they have the personnel to be a good team. So the question is, was that an anomaly, rushing for 44 yards against Louisville? And did they put together a really good game plan with defensive coordinator Ron English and all that? Or are there underlying issues here? I think Notre Dame, one, it makes sense from a game plan perspective to run the football because you keep Caleb Williams on the sideline. Two, you've heard for the last week that you only rush for 44 yards and that you really can't, that's not a dominant part of your game anymore. And the third thing is USC's biggest deficiencies are on the defensive side of the ball. So they're giving up 157 yards per game on the ground, and Notre Dame was averaging 146. So it makes sense to come in and just commit to that run game, and the shots you do take should come off play action. That's what I think Notre Dame will try to do. But again, nothing would surprise me. And then on the USC side, I think Caleb Williams needs a good showing. Caleb Williams needs to come in and have one of those signature games, mostly because he's playing on the West Coast. Not a lot of people get to see him play week in and week out. Now, that didn't keep him from winning the Heisman Trophy a year ago because the numbers were just that impressive. But with the schedule they have down the stretch here, I still don't think USC is going to go unbeaten, which means I think when he's coming over in a marquee game on the East Coast against Notre Dame, he has to have a really good showing if he's hoping to go back-to-back with these Heisman trophies.
I agree with you 100%. Now, Blaine, when we're talking about how to approach this game for Notre Dame, we've talked all year about we expect this team to be a heavy personnel, downhill. You didn't have a ton of experience on the outside, so you kind of work that in, take a little pressure off them by making them load the box, helping them get separation because they're robbing Peter to pay Paul against the run. But at some point against this USC team, because I can see it going like this too. I can see Notre Dame playing that controlled style of game, and it's a close game throughout, and it's not nearly as high scoring as what people think. And then the last 2 drives of the fourth quarter, Caleb Williams does something nuts, and they go down and score 14 points, and USC steals this one. I just feel like, yes, it's obviously smart to limit USC's possessions, but at the end of the day, it was an anomaly to me, I think, against Louisville in the run game, just because we haven't seen Notre Dame get stuff like that a lot. I think it was more of a mindset thing. I thought Notre Dame went in there a little bit arrogant, and I felt like Louisville had that chip on their shoulder, and that's kind of how they've played defense the past couple years. But I don't see Notre Dame going into this game taking their ability to run the ball or dominate physically for granted. But at some point against a team that you know is gonna score, you can play great on defense and give up 27 points in this game. You have got to be able to hit shots down the field to kind of play it backwards a little bit, to say that you're not going to be able to stack 7-8 guys in the box, right? You're not going to be able to overload the box when we get into our lighter personnels and our lighter formation.
No, I agree, and this is going to be a really interesting game. The one thing I look at, if you go back to the Notre Dame-Louisville, Notre Dame went 3 for 13 on third downs. If you come anywhere close to that against USC, you're not going to win this game, and I don't think you're going to be close. I think if you're Notre Dame, you need to have double the time of possession that USC has to stay in this game and to win this game. USC wants to go. USC, especially when it comes to skill possessions, they're a lot more athletic than you. They are. Your best player on Notre Dame, our best skilled player, in my opinion, is your tight end. Other than that, you have some young guys outside who just aren't there yet, and you saw that against Louisville. 3 for 13 on third downs. You couldn't get 3rd and 1s. You couldn't get 3rd and 2s. Sooner or later, USC saw what Louisville did. If you don't think USC is going to take a page out of what Louisville did on defense, you're crazy. I promise you, you're crazy. But you have a guy that can fix it, all right? But you have to trust him in key situations. 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. If the box is getting stacked and people are shooting gaps, Sam Hartman needs to have the ball. I'm done with this estimate stuff. I'm done with it. Congrats. You can go into a weight room and pick up everything. But I need your big ass to get 3rd and 1. People are talking about Estimate never gets hit backwards. I watch him get hit backwards repeatedly against a mediocre Louisville defense who's been playing mediocre the entire year. I think USC is more athletic on the outside. I mean, you got Branch, Mario Williams, the one kid who's leading your team right now in touchdowns. I can't remember his name. Caleb Williams. They're going to put up points. And just like how Notre Dame was hearing, oh, you're not physical up front. You're not this. USC's defense been getting told that the entire year. Mm-hmm. You're the problem. You're the reason we can't get over the hump. Up front in the front seven. Sooner or later, one of these teams are going to have to come in here pissed off, all right? And I don't know if it's going to be USC's defense or Notre Dame, but one of them needs to be. And whoever's more pissed and whoever's less afraid in this game is going to win.
Yeah, and I want to make sure and I watched that Notre Dame-Louisville game, tight just like you guys did. Yeah, they were matching heavy condensed formations with heavying up the box, which is what you do defensively against Notre Dame. But it wasn't like Louisville was running just a smoke and mirrors, hey, we're going to run stun every play and drop guys out of helicopters and do crazy things. They were just beating Notre Dame at the point of attack. They were getting off base blocks. They were shooting gaps, right? They had guys that were taking chances, but a lot of them were smart and calculated chances because Notre Dame wasn't making them pay off of it. Like at some point, even if the numbers are even, you have to have some sort of out where you're running bluffs and you're getting the ball in the flat. You know whose offense does a great job of that? Jamie Chadwell and Liberty.
Yeah.
Liberty does such a good job. And in Jamie Chadwell's offense, who was at Coastal Carolina, who's now at Liberty, took over for Hugh Freeze, they take advantage. You got to be able to run the ball to do it. But the RPO action, the ability to bluff on the fly, even off split zone, I'm not even talking off speed option or load option or anything like that, being able to sit back and throw the ball or do something in the flat off true play action out of pistol. Jamie Chadwell, that offense that they run at Liberty is absolutely nasty. But we want to make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you guys checking us out. Got a heck of a show for you today. We want to know what you think. I do want to say this before we move on. The numbers right now on DraftKings. Yep. Notre Dame is a 2.5-point favorite. Mm-hmm. The over/under is 62.5. So
that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, I'm leaning early, and this isn't a pick. We'll make our picks on Saturday or on Friday afternoon. We release our Saturday special. I am leaning Notre Dame minus the 2.5 right now.
Really?
I do. I really think you're gonna. When you talk about who's gonna, I think USC's defense can be upset. I think they can come in and understand that they are the problem. What everybody's doubting, but Notre Dame's offensive front's hearing that too. Those backs, which I think Jeremiah Love's the best back they got. I don't even think that's a question right now, especially with the fumble trouble that Estimate's had in his past. But Notre Dame's hearing it too, and I think Notre Dame's offensive line and offensive front in that tight end room are better than USC's front seven on defense. So if it's a match of Pacific Rim, I'm upset, you're upset, I'm going to take the more talented group. I think Notre Dame I think Notre Dame is up double digits in the fourth quarter. USC scores a touchdown to bring it back, and Notre Dame ends up kind of salting it away at the end. I like Notre Dame early. I'm leaning minus 2.5. That's not a pick, but I'm leaning that way.
So 62.5 over under.
Not touching it.
I have no idea.
Not touching it.
My instinct says that it goes under, but
how can you? I just can't pick a USC under. Like I don't care who they're playing.
I know.
Like I just can't do it. Because what if Notre Dame snaps off, 3 60-yard runs, 2 of them for touchdowns, and it sets up play action. They're able to hit grade outs and all these guys.
Well, that gets back to the point that I made, and you too, is like, what if Notre Dame does commit to the run and they have double the time of possession that USC does?
And the crazy thing, they could do that and the over can still hit.
I know, because USC can just...
I know.
That's what the word like...
And Branch, I believe, is back on special teams.
I'm not betting this game. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not betting this game. Yeah. I don't know who's gonna show up. Like, it's split. It's basically Notre Dame is the guy from Split. And so you know what USC is going to be. I mean, you know what USC is going to be. So if it's me, I am not touching this.
We want to know what you think in the comments. Are you taking Notre Dame? Are you taking USC? Let us know. Make sure you hit that like button. Let's get as many people to hit that like button that are in the chat. We'd really appreciate it. But something we all like, all right, is great meat. It's grilling season. In fact, it's always grilling season. This is America, let's be honest. All right, whether it's tailgating, whether you're out there at the crib with the game on, walking back and forth from the grill, whether you have a great backyard setup that I'm trying to get right now where you can grill and then watch the game like Cone has at his house, which is super dope, and we're all super jelly about it. But every Halloween, you hear about the dangers of candy that your kids will get. But this year, the real tricks are in the meat aisle. Yeah, that's butcher humor. Good Ranchers wants to take the trick out of your meat, and they're throwing in a treat for my listeners for $30 off your order with promo code BOOSTER. All right, if you use the promo code Booster at GoodRanchers.com, you get $30 off. This is 100% American-sourced meat. All right, you don't have to worry about what's in it. You know what's in it? What was born in it, okay? There's no additives or anything to keep it to sit and play in the game of Oregon Trail. They didn't just throw a bunch of salt all over it and hope for 3 months, okay? So the number one place to get America's best pork, beef, chicken, and now seafood delivered is with Good Ranchers. I'm telling you, we've eaten it for what, a year now? Somewhere around there?
Yeah.
It always delivers.
It
So
does.
take the mystery out of the meat aisle. Visit GoodRanchers.com. Use our code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, to get $30 off with free express shipping on your box of America's best meat and seafood today. That's code BOOSTER for $30 off your box today at GoodRanchers.com. Also, we're going to throw our link for merch in the chat. If you haven't, we would really love for you to help out the show. Buy some of that. We want to restock it. We're almost to the point where we can, but we're capitalists, so we want to make sure we sell out before we add back. And we're going to have some new designs for you guys in the Booster Club and to win the water cooler. All right, what's going on in the chat?
All right, let's go to Texas. What's up, brother? He said, one loss will drop Caleb Williams out of the Heisman race. Too many others with Heisman opportunities that can make him irrelevant if USC loses this game. Is he out of the race with one loss?
No.
One loss, no.
I don't think he's out. It just depends on how he performs.
Yeah.
Now, do I think he probably has to go undefeated or that USC has to make the playoff for him to win the Heisman 2 years in a row? Yes, I think for him to win it 2 years in a row, USC has to make the playoff.
All right, let's go to Kenny Salter. What's up, Kenny? He says, I agree. He thinks Notre Dame comes out pissed and physical, and they're going to be hitting on all cylinders.
But now you got nothing to lose, right? All the pressure's on USC. Right, all those pats on the back, like I said about Texas from earlier in the year. Now it's just people just, giving you a half smile. Hey, I got to get to class. The party's canceled.
It's just disappointing to watch this Notre Dame team. It took a couple losses for them to play free with that experience, and you bring in Sam Hartman. It's like,
but you know how it goes,
I thought
David?
Freeman was such a motivational guy, though, dude. I thought he was such a motivational guy.
Well, I don't think
Now
they
they're
lost.
motivated,
I don't think they lost the
losses.
Ohio State game because of anything motivational. Like I think that was just a game between two talented. Yeah, I mean that's not motivational unless you're sitting there, a 30-year-old trying to learn your numbers again or something. I don't know, but I think it's a big difference in the reason they lost to Ohio State and the reason they lost to Louisville. I think arrogance, a mixture of arrogance, and I want to give Louisville their flowers. Louisville. I want to give Louisville, I'm going to say this right. I want to give Louisville their flowers. I think Louisville showed up to play, but I think it was borderline arrogance that cost Notre Dame in that game.
All right, let's go to Aaron Demers. What's up, Aaron? He says, I'll take Notre Dame at home. If they can't win this game, this coach doesn't work. Sam Hartman is overrated, always has been. That's just my opinion, but he always plays like trash against us, so maybe that's it. Aaron is a big Louisville guy.
Look, I don't think Sam's overrated. I think Sam's going to be fine in the NFL. Do I think he's a first-round pick? No, not with the quarterbacks that are coming out right now. I mean, you're in a class that is absolutely loaded. I wouldn't say that, in the grand scheme of things, when you look at Sam Hartman, I think he threw a lot of interceptions at Wake Forest because they had to throw a bunch to win after Kenneth Walker left. Obviously, just ask Michigan State and Mel Tucker about how that went after he left. But I think he had to force a lot. They had to throw to win at Wake Forest. So I'm not going to go as far as the Sam Hartman's overrated. I'm not going there.
All right, let's go to Blaze Diaz. It's a fire-ass name. He says, it's crazy. Realistically, USC is the third best team in the Pac-2 right now.
This is the third best team in the
Pac-2.
I'm just trying to do the math.
Yeah. Look, USC right now, it's, again, I will go back and we've said it on the show, we said it during the offseason. Until they show me that they are adequate defensively, which they have not shown yet, which the combination of Alex Grinch and Lincoln Riley has not shown yet. If somebody shows you who they are, eventually you have to believe them. And I think this is just who they are, David. I think this is just who they are. I know, give more time at USC. Mm-hmm. We'll see. Some guys are late bloomers, right? It's like oh boy from It. Like he's a fat kid growing up. All of a sudden he comes back to Derry and he's, like a GQ model or something.
I'll tell you what reinforces it is when you see the way that Oklahoma was on defense last year, the year after Lincoln Riley left, and then 1 year under Brent Venables, the way they've already flipped that defense. That's another just telling sign that, and when you have one of the most generational players that we've ever seen in college football in Caleb Williams, and maybe the best quarterback Lincoln Riley's coached, and I'm saying that after he's already had 2 Heisman Trophy winners at the position, you would think there's one side of the ball we have to focus on and get right.
And you don't have to be elite. Nobody's saying that you have to be Bama on defense.
But I remember USC teams that were like that.
Well,
you can do it
they
there.
can. Well,
you can do it at USC.
I think we opened a show this summer. Like, I remember watching USC with Troy Polamalu.
Brian Cushing used to
Ray
rush the passer and
Maluga.
cover in the secondary.
Like, just coming downhill and wrecking folks. The defensive lines that they used to have,
that,
good God.
with Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart on offense.
So it's not like this isn't, that's what I always say, this isn't some like Pac-12, like surfing USA, like we're out there like rubbing coconut butter all over each other at the beach, like softness. I'm not saying that. I've seen USC be physical. I've seen USC be hard-nosed. Like, it can be done out there. I just think this is...
Taylor Mays used to kill people.
Yeah, look at Taylor Mays.
Taylor Mays that was one of my favorite football players ever. I saw him knock 2 guys out at once.
Yeah.
And one of them was on his own team. And then just walked off like nothing happened.
That's exactly right. Head's the size of a big screen TV.
Dude, he's like 6'4" monster. Let's go to LFG. It says the 2023 USC with the limiting factor. National pundits never mentioned this. It's how poorly the Trojans' offensive line graded out versus Arizona State and Arizona.
Well, Cole Kublik came on here when we had him as our picker, and he talked about this after watching the film of USC. He's like, I'm telling you right now, USC's offensive line, they look pretty, they move pretty good, but this is not an overly physical bunch. This is not a nasty group. I'm telling you right now, don't be shocked Notre Dame kind of rolls them up a little bit when it comes to physicality. Now, you'll have some plays that Caleb Williams will make. He'll break 2 tackles and launch one down the field, and they'll score on some crazy stuff. But over time, gravity's for. I'm just saying, watch out for Notre Dame this weekend, man. A lot of people are sleeping on them. We're going to get back to the Booster Club. Let's go and get to Rapid Fire.
Rapid fire. All right, let's go to Major League Baseball playoffs. So the Rangers closed out their series yesterday with the Orioles. Clean sweep, 7-1 in the win there. Is it true that all the AL East teams, all 3 that got in, are 0-7?
Isn't that weird? I believe that's right. I believe that's
like
right.
that. And then Astros, big win over the Twins, 9-1. They go up in that series now, 2-1.
They jumped Sonny Gray in the first inning. And Javier's been so dominant for them. I think he's given up like 2 hits or something in 3 postseason starts, something crazy like that. He's doing a heck of a job. You look at the Orioles, you hated for the Orioles after the season they had, right? Number 1 seed in the American League. And it's not like the Rangers have a ton of postseason experience here lately, so you can't say, oh, well, they're new and they didn't know. But the Rangers, apparently, they've been listening to a ton of Scott Stapp and Creed.
Yeah, that'll do it.
In the locker room. So I tweeted this out the moment I heard that. Like, I've never believed in a team more.
Oh, yeah.
Like, a team that listens to Creed together. If you listen to Creed or Nickelback together, like a lot of good stuff, a lot of chem. You know, we talk about the chem. A lot of good chem happens.
A lot of good chems for some good quabs.
That's exactly
That's like
right.
a good quab, dude.
Good quality AB.
So, yeah, Astros Twins game 4 will be tonight. We also have Dodgers Diamondbacks. Dodgers down 2-0 in that series, and now it goes to Arizona. All right,
Arizona's
that game's
gonna be
tonight.
lit.
And then, of course, Braves Phillies game 3 tonight, Philadelphia.
Feel like the Braves win this one.
Aaron Nola's on the mound for Philly.
Feel like the Braves win this one. Then the Phillies probably win the second one. Then it comes back to Atlanta and stash. Who are the Braves throwing tonight?
It's undecided right now.
It's undecided.
I'm still riding.
I believe it.
Undecided is good.
Undecided.
Pretty good.
He's had a good year.
Against Aaron Nola.
Yeah, well, that means there's still a chance I could be pitching tonight. All of a sudden, I just leave right out and hop on a plane. Y'all want to see 84 to 86? A little bit of movement. No, first 2 innings, they'll be off balance.
I'm hitting everybody.
I'm a Jamie Moyer in the first 2 innings.
I'm hitting everybody.
Also, NHL started last night. Predators fought hard, lost to the Lightning.
Wow.
5-3, empty netter at the end.
I know.
Blackhawks beat the Penguins 4-2.
Yeah.
And Golden Knights 4-1 over the Kraken.
Well, the Golden Knights, good start after a good year. The way they do the expansion stuff in the NHL is hilarious. They're like, hey, it's a new team. Here's all the good players.
Yeah, you get all
Like,
the
how
good
can we
players.
what is the best way to make this hockey team as popular as possible in the new destination? I don't know. Cheat for them? Give them all the good players? How about they win it? You know, win the Stanley Cup first couple of years. They'll love us out there. They'll buy us 20 years, and we'll just tank it and move somewhere else. It's like those, you know what it is? It's like those furniture stores that is always having a going out of business sale, but yet they're always still in business. It's like, man, yeah, this week we're having a going out of business sale. It's just the economy's not good. Then, 3 weeks later, they're having another one. It's like, are y'all going to eventually go out of business, or are you just going to
hanging around?
Yeah.
Hanging
like,
around.
we just made payroll this month. Just made it.
All right, last one here. I want to preview this Texas A&M Tennessee game. So Texas A&M goes to Tennessee. That line right now is -3.5 Vols, and the over-under is now 55.5.
You want me to tell you a game that I'm not betting? It's
Not
this
touching
one.
this one.
I find this matchup because it's literally a de facto elimination game for both teams that are in different divisions, right? A&M's in the SEC West, Tennessee's in the SEC East. Tennessee has one SEC loss. They lost at Florida. Georgia's not Tennessee's only hope is that they win out and have the tiebreaker over Georgia to go play in Atlanta in the SEC Championship. That's their only hope now after losing to Florida. So if they lose this one, you have 2 losses. You can beat Georgia at home. You still got to go to Bama. All right? So you got to beat Georgia at home to be able to have that tiebreaker. But you have 2 losses, you don't have a tiebreaker. Georgia's not losing more than 1 game during the regular season. You can probably go ahead and write that one down and put it on an owl's foot and send it to Hogwarts. Okay? Then you look at A&M. You already lost to Bama at home. Bama now has the fast track. Bama gets LSU at home, right? They do have to go to Auburn. They've already played Ole Miss. They get Arkansas at home this weekend. But if A&M loses this one, you have 2 losses and you don't have the tiebreaker over Alabama, you're cooked in the SEC West. So whoever loses this game is out of the SEC race. You can say, oh, well, there's still a chance. Well, there's a chance I'm going to walk outside, you know what I'm saying, and straight into an alien spaceship. Okay, but the odds of it aren't exactly great. Okay, so we always talk about styles make fights. This Tennessee team is as run-heavy of a Tennessee team as we've seen under Josh Heupel, right? They have success doing it. I mean, you just look at the numbers.
231 on the ground.
231 on the ground. You've got Jalen Wright, who's averaging over 7 yards a carry. Jabari Small's averaging 6 yards a carry. Dylan Sampson's averaging almost 7 yards a carry. They all got over 250 yards, right? I mean, Sampson's the one that's got 6 touchdowns, and Joe Milton, we know, is a heavy runner. A&M can stop the run. They're one of the best in the country in stopping the run. Yeah. That front 7 can stop the run better than Pepto-Bismol. But they're so bad against the pass. They made Jalen Milroe look like Joe Montana in that game. I've never seen the first read open so much. They tried to play press. They tried to play off. They tried to play zone. They tried to play man. They tried to play zone behind bringing pressure. They tried to play man behind bringing pressure and just got absolutely cooked by an offense that had no real identity passing the ball, save a couple games. Same thing happened against Miami. And A&M, you know, I talked about they struggled to get there before. Yeah, they still got some pressure on Jalen Milroe when you look at the way that pressure got converted to sack rates and the pressure rate that he was under. But this A&M secondary is just bad. So here's the question. The main question of A&M versus Tennessee. Can Joe Milton make the routine throws routine? I don't know how many times I've said that when it comes down to Tennessee. We talked about it during the offseason. He looks like the same Joe Milton. So, Blaine, I'll throw it to you. If Tennessee cannot run the ball effectively, even running that warp drive offense, can Joe Milton hit open receivers not consistently in the deep third, in the intermediate, and in the short?
I think he can.
Enough this game.
I think so. If anything, I like the over in this game. But, God, if you're a Tennessee fan, you had to love what you saw against Bama. You had to love what you saw. And you have. I mean, Wright's going to have a big day running the ball, I think. Not even that, but White as well. No one can stop Big Game Burton, all right? The Barry kid, this kid, it doesn't matter. Even if he was doubled, they don't know what to do on the outside, and they want to bring forward. They don't want to bring a lot of pressure. And I don't think you should bring a lot of pressure against Heupel. I don't know if that's really going to pan out for you. But if it's me and I'm Tennessee, it's a couple things I'm looking at early. You're going to have to run the ball a little bit in this game. All right, you're not going to be able to just come out, I don't think, and copy what Alabama did. So let's go ahead and pitch backwards a little bit if you're Josh Heupel. Let's keep the tempo going. Texas A&M's beat up, man. They're beat up on defense. They're beat up in the secondary. Tempo is going to be huge in this football game. You need to get going, and you need to get going absolutely early. I expect White to have at least 6+ targets, maybe 7+ receptions. I wouldn't be surprised by that. On the other side, if you're A&M, Aniyah Smith and Musa Muhammad should have more targets than Jake Johnson, okay? I don't have to come out here. That's not a huge, crazy take. You have to get your best players to football in big, clutch situations. I don't know if you got to go tell Max that. This brother stuff's got to stop. It's got to stop.
Well,
and Bobby, that's on you. Bobby, that's on you, and you got to tell them. You go back. A&M has to play a lot better on third down in this game. And if this game was at A&M, it'd be a little bit different for me. It's tough. It's tough to go beat Tennessee at Tennessee, buddy.
Well,
it really is.
It is. It is a couple things. Number one, why are we calling? And you know me, I think Jermaine's a really good player. Why are we calling him Big Game Burton? I mean, you didn't have over 60 yards in any game this year. You went off against an A&M team that's awful against the pass. I don't think we should start crowning anybody big game. This man ain't Devontae Smith. Like this, I wouldn't start just, you had one game against the secondary that couldn't cover a news story in a metropolitan city. So I wouldn't.
Oh, he had a couple big games last year. I mean, he has a new quarterback this year that can barely throw the football.
I mean, I don't think he was elite last year. I think he kind of disappeared last year.
He had a couple big games and big moments. A couple 100+ games against ranked opponents that mattered.
I need to go back.
I just didn't make this nickname up.
I'm just saying. Well, Big Gabe Burton. Where were you against Texas? You had 2 catches. Where were you against Ole Miss? You had 2 catches.
He can't throw it and catch it.
Well, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but there's other. When I look at that game against A&M, and you got to give him all the credit in the world. I mean, the man's running wide open. I mean, he had more cushion than a sofa store in that game at certain points. And he may explode, him and Bond, and then they may have figured it out. They may have figured out Blue's Clues. Before I start calling anybody big game, whatever, you got to show up in more than one game and against a team that's perennially been 8-4 and had never won the SEC West before. But here's what I will say. When it comes to Tennessee, I think this is one of those big, the tempo is always important, right? But if you were ever going to get at A&M in the run game, you're going to get at them in the run game this way, by going really fast, by catching them in base, not letting them check, right, kind of wearing them down a little bit. And we'll see. They may still shut down the run. And I'm not saying Tennessee, is going to run all over them, but they may be able to pee a drop in the run game as opposed to other teams. Bama last week ran for 23 yards against them. Auburn couldn't get past the line of scrimmage. But this is a numbers game. That's what that's what offense is. That's what football is. We know this. But when Tennessee starts going fast and they catch you in base like this, you can really supplement the run with the quick passing game outside, being able to screen it, right, to stay on schedule, to get into the 2nd and 6s by using it. So if A&M wants to go up and play base, the numbers will be even. It makes the reads easier for Joe Milton. But it's going to come down to, can Joe Milton make the routine throws on 3rd and medium or longer? If they can do that, Tennessee's going to win this game. And then A&M offensively on the other side, this Tennessee defense pretty good, right? I know against Florida they look bad, but at home in Neyland, I mean, David, they hadn't lost in 2 years. And A&M hadn't won a true road game in the last 7 games. So, follow the bouncing balls.
It's an interesting scenario here for the Texas A&M defense because, like I said, Tennessee's averaging 231 on the ground, but Texas A&M is only giving up 84 yards.
Strength versus strength.
I mean, strength versus strength. Texas A&M is elite stopping the run. The problem is, like we just said, in the pass game and in that secondary, you're getting cooked up, and Burton and Jalen Milroe in the first one to do this for you. Tyler Van Dyke and Restrepo, cooked you all game when you went on the road to play Miami. And so I think everything that you're talking about does come down to, okay, well, do we remain strength on strength and try and shut down the Tennessee run game and make Joe Milton beat us, which would seem like a good strategy. But if Tennessee's going to supplement the run game with the quick pass game, that's where you need him to be accurate more than ever, right? That's where you never had a question about Hendon Hooker because he's going to get the ball out. He's going to be accurate. I think that this is one of those games where Joe Milton, this is a great opportunity for him to be accurate down the field and showcase some of his strengths that we questioned in the offseason early throughout the year. And then on the Tennessee defense side, how much can they get after Max Johnson? This isn't going to be the same defense you saw last week with Alabama, but still, Max Johnson will hang back there in the pocket and let you get to him. Yeah. So can Tennessee do that and really affect it? I think it's another one of those games, like I said last week with Max Johnson and Jalen Milroe, same thing this week. Do both of these quarterbacks turn the ball over, and what scenarios do the turnovers happen?
Yeah, and this wide receiver core at Tennessee, I'm just, I don't know who A&M's going to put out there you feel good about in the secondary to cover them.
What are you excited about? What do you feel good about if you're an A&M fan right now? What do you feel good about? I was in a space on Twitter talking about this. What do you feel good about right now? Not a lot.
Stopping the run, that's great, but
not a lot. And one of the things, this might not go down as a run in the stat sheet, but you're going to see a lot of hike.
That's what I'm saying. That you're going to get a lot of that now screen, right? Look, 2v2.
Yep.
Play it in space. Turn it into a hockey game up and down the ice. So the line's at -3.5. The only way I'm not betting this game when it comes to bets, I'm not touching this game. But if I did, I don't take 3.5s. I don't even care if it's in a parlay. I would buy this down to Tennessee -2.5 at home. When it comes to the over-under, you would think the lean under at 55.5, right? You would lean under in this game, even though, you do worry about A&M giving up a lot of big plays down the field. Can that A&M offense get hot? Is Max Johnson going to just spam throw to his brother? Those are things we got to find out. But I would have to take Tennessee -2.5 and by that point.
I like it.
It's really hard not to take Tennessee at home. In this game. If anything, if you're a gambling man, I would take Tennessee to cover and take the over as well. and parlay that together.
Really? You take the over with it?
Interesting.
I think
Hey,
points are gonna get scored.
If you bought an alt, you could probably get an alt line if you're going to parlay it like that.
Yeah, for sure. I would almost just take Tennessee money line then if I was going to parlay it with the over or -2.
Yeah, I would have to look at the
I would
odds.
take
how
big
big
and a
are
half
the
in the
difference
over.
odds?
I feel like you're dancing with the devil there. All right, we got Brandon Marcello coming up. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. The chat's hot. I can feel it over there, Blaine. But I want to tell you right now, Jeremy's Razors is doing a special partnership where you can win a free trip to Las Vegas to see Power Slap live on October 25th. All you have to do between now and October 14th is purchase a Precision 5 Razor Starter set or Jeremy's Chocolate between now and October 14th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern, and you'll be entered to win a VIP trip to see Power Slap live. This is an exclusive event, not open to the public. One lucky winner, you get 4 tickets to Vegas, baby, to see Power Slap 5, and we're going to be there. Okay, so slap the woke out of your shaving routine with Jeremy's Razors. Go to jeremy'srazors.com/slap for the complete sweepstakes rules and to purchase your Precision 5 or Jeremy's Chocolate. To enter, you have to be 18 or older or a U.S. citizen for participation. No purchase necessary. See jeremy'srazors.com/slap for more details.
Do it now.
All right, Coney.
Come on.
It's Wednesday. You don't know?
Hey.
Cone is really an 80-year-old that's trapped in a mid-30-year-old man's body.
78.
He's really 78. And every Wednesday, somebody's on his lawn. All right, they need to get the hell off. It's a real Clint Eastwood, Gran Torino situation. So, Cone, you're going to go down to Miami and have somebody G off your L. Who is it?
I'll do it.
This week, Mario Cristobal has to get off my lawn.
Mario, get up.
By now, most are aware that Miami lost its first game of the season in the most unforgivable fashion. Up 3 with 33 seconds remaining, rather than take a knee to ensure victory, head coach Mario Cristobal elected to run a play that resulted in a fumble, which led to a last-second game-winning touchdown for Georgia Tech. Now, this is as bad as it gets for high-level college football, but what makes this situation worse is that Mario isn't just some coach. He's a Miami native, a second-generation Cuban-American, face of the demographic, a 2-time national champion, the sacred son sent to catapult the U back to national prominence and away from the long-standing laughingstock it had become. This debacle not only hurts that cause, but it runs antithetical to the Mario Cristobal ethos, which is attention to detail. The little things matter. How you do anything is how you do everything. All of that only works when the coaches are held to that same standard. Now it becomes very difficult to look an 18-year-old kid in the face and demand excellence, demand near perfection day in and day out during practice, in the weight room, in the classroom, when their coach, who makes north of $8 million per year, cost them a game in the most inexcusable fashion. And I mean inexcusable literally. You can't blame the play caller, the referees, the weather. The buck must stop with the head coach. The bad news is this won't be forgotten. It will become college football folklore. And since this isn't coach's first end-of-game management offense, Cristobaling a game may even become a verb. But here's the good news for Miami fans. Despite this blunder, the Hurricanes are 4-1. They have a noteworthy win over Texas A&M. They're in contention for an ACC championship, and they get North Carolina and Clemson the next 2 weeks. What better way to showcase that this gaffe was a mere hiccup en route to a successful and storied tenure for Mario at Miami than by taking a shot of some of that Cuban coffee, waking up a bit, and defeating 2 of the top teams in the conference consecutively? Will Coach Cristobal deliver the U back to national championship form? Only time will tell. But for this week at least, he has to get off my lawn.
Yeah.
You
David,
get off your lawn.
he needs to G off your L, David.
I agree, David.
Like I said, and I'll be quick with this, this is inexcusable. You better win. Like it better not, the season better not go downhill too badly. Not that I'm saying they'll fire Mario, but the pressure's going to be turned up because this is that egregious. I had people ask me, was that a fireable offense? And I don't ever, outside of doing something off the field or like Woody Hayes punching a player on the sideline, I don't know if one play is ever truly a fireable offense. But if there ever was one, it's this. Name a worse decision that you've seen outside of the time he did it before. or name an easier decision to make in football?
I can't name one, and that's why it will not be forgotten, right? It's something you just have to live with, but not fireable offense. The momentum is too strong. Like I just said, 4-1,
I agree with
you're
that.
hot on the recruiting trail. Just move forward now. Own it. It will never be forgotten. It'll be brought up for the rest of the time. Move forward, own it, and then prove that it was a minor hiccup en route to you returning the U to prominence.
I'm just telling you, if I was a coach in the booth, in the press box, and that decision was made, I would have literally on the headset told Mario Cristobal, Coach, I respect you, I love my job. But if we do not take a knee right here, I'm going to jump out of this press box in front of all these people. I'm going to die in front of all these people if you do not take a knee right here.
Look,
it's that drastic. Or if I'm on the field, I will. If I was that offensive line coach, like, Coach, if we do not take a knee, I'm going to take my shirt off and run to midfield like one of these climate activist people and somehow find a way to tie myself to the field or lay down or start doing snow angels.
I'm not making excuses for Mario. What he did was egregious. One of the worst things I've seen in college football. But we just saw that picture.
Can I break this down, actually?
How does that not get over?
Can I actually?
Well, no. It should never get to that point.
That's not what, okay, we realize that, but I'm saying,
never get
how
to that
does
point.
that?
Let me break this down for you, because doing the research for this, I started to realize that the ending of this Miami-Georgia Tech game is one of the most bizarre sequence of events that I can remember in any college football game. So everybody's talking about the fact that Miami didn't take a knee when they could have ended the game, right? Up 3 points, 33 seconds remaining. They don't take a knee when you could end the game. That's what we're talking about. But then on the play they ran, it's called a fumble. Here's a screenshot right here. The runner is down. We can see that he's down. But hey, it's bang, bang play. They called it a fumble. You go in, you try and review it. They don't make the right call. We see that a lot. Okay, so it's called a fumble. Georgia Tech still has to go 75 yards to score. Then they go 4 plays, right? They complete a big pass down the sideline, and then show the touchdown play. Georgia Tech, he starts to slide before he goes into the end zone on the score with no time remaining. Why is he sliding here instead of running through the end zone? I have no idea.
If you
initiate a slide, the play is down.
Happened last night
rule.
against Coastal Carolina and App State. The Coastal guys slid instead of scoring so they could kick a game-winning field goal, and they put the ball where he initiated the slide.
He's initiating a slide right here. Okay, hold on. I'm not done. He's initiating a slide, so he should be done with no time remaining. And then after the score, Georgia Tech goes up 23-20. They go for a 2-point conversion. Why is Georgia Tech going for a 2-point conversion when they could kick the extra point and go up by 4, which then, there was 1 second remaining, Miami gets the kickoff. Georgia Tech then goes for
that. Makes
sense. All 4 of those things here have me scratching my head where I don't understand what happened for both of these teams at the end of this game.
Yeah, because they could run an extra point back if they block it, just like they could run a pick back on a 2-point conversion.
You're up 3.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? You deserve this. You deserve this to happen. You play stupid games. What's the graph? F around?
Yeah.
Find out? You found out. All right? And the football gods cast you out on this one. But a guy we're never going to cast out is Brandon Marcello. All right? We got our buddy Brandon Marcello from 247 Sports. Brandon, you've watched a ton of football, man. You've covered it for a long time. That's got to be the worst, right? Is there anything worse that can happen than that from a coaching decision? Like, is there anything worse? Like on the field, like game management, not like, hey, we've seen some other coaches off the field, but is that the worst thing you've ever seen?
From a coaching perspective in the final seconds, yes, absolutely. The only other worst thing could be is that they called a kneel and somehow a player decides I'm not going to do that. And fumbles the ball away.
Yeah, well, at that point, then I go to prison as the coach. But you know what? Even if you fumble the snap, taking the knee, which has happened in an NFL playoff game.
That happens.
Right? Like that, okay, physical mistake, I can sleep at night. At what point, though, does Tyler Van Dyke have to be like, no, I'm taking a knee. Just go varsity blues. Just go rogue. I'm taking a knee. I'm not turning around and handing this ball. What are you going to do? You're going to bench me because I made an obvious right decision? So I don't know, man. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. But speaking of crazy, Brandon, Auburn LSU. Like, the only way I can describe this series, whether it's the earthquake game or the interception game or the fire game or the comebacks that we've seen, whether it was Auburn in 2004 or it was LSU, throwing the touchdown in the last second, speaking of clock management. The only way I can describe this series is it's like that weird kid we all grew up with, that like put mayonnaise on his hot dog and like just liked insects way too much. Like it just weird things happen. There's a solar eclipse that's going to be happening right before the game.
Wow.
Like is this the craziest series? Like one of the craziest series that there's been?
It's a weird series. I don't know if it's the craziest, but it's a weird one. Having said that, I don't think this game's going to be all that weird unless Auburn suddenly knows how to throw for more than 100 yards in a game. But I'll say this: LSU's defense is atrocious. It's historically bad for that program, and the fact that they are able to actually win some games right now is a credit to Jaden Daniels at quarterback. But, back to what you were saying, the history of this game, I've seen some crazy ones myself. I saw wasn't necessarily one that's all that memorable, but it was Les Miles' final game it proved to be. And that was actually like I called it the hot seat game going into that. Whoever lost that may have been firing their coach that season. And sure enough, I think Auburn, I don't even know if Auburn scored an offensive touchdown that game, and yet they were able to win. They had just put Rhett Lashley in as offensive coordinator to actually call the plays that week. They made the decision because Gus's offense wasn't working too well, and they managed to barely beat LSU, and then Les Miles gets fired the next day. But this is an incredible rivalry in a lot of ways. I remember mostly the games in the early to mid 2000s to me. Yeah. Those games going back and forth between Tommy Tuberville and Les Miles and Nick Saban. More so than I remember the ones like in the 2000 teens. And but this one is maybe the weirdest matchup in the series in quite some time, just because LSU offensively is great. Defensively, they are atrocious. And then Auburn, I don't know if they can score more than 12 points a game.
Yeah, well, look, and you want to help out a defense, be one-dimensional. Auburn has wide receivers right now outside of a couple guys, Fairweather at tight end, and they've got a couple slot guys that are playing well. But outside of that, nobody really scares you. Auburn's run the ball well, but I think you can make the argument LSU has the best offense in the country right now. I'm thinking of offenses between that. Would I rather face Jaden Daniels and LSU's offense or Caleb Williams and USC's offense? And honestly, I would rather face USC because I think LSU is a more complete offense when you look at the numbers. But Auburn offensively going down there, I saw the way Peyton Thorne handled going to Kyle Field. And we've said that going down to Baton Rouge is going to Mordor. Like you're there, right? I mean, there's orcs coming out of the mud. The swords lighting blue. It's crazy down there. We know it's a night game down there in Death Valley. If Peyton Thorne was shook going to Kyle Field, playing at 11 o'clock, this man's it's gonna be the exorcism of Emily Rose against LSU. And I'm having trouble seeing the way that Auburn can score enough because they don't have a pass rush on defense outside of pressuring that can get to Jaden Daniels. And if you get skinny in the back end against Jaden Daniels with Brian Thomas Jr. and Malik Neighbors, David, it's gonna be a roast session.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that LSU offense, they can attack you so many different ways, but Jaden Daniels has become such a gamer right now. I mean, if they had somehow found a way to knock one loss off their resume right now, I think Jaden Daniels is in the thick of things in the Heisman
without a
race.
doubt. I think he should be anyway, to be honest.
He might end up being so if they can go on a little bit of a run here. And especially because I think Caleb Williams has got another probably one or two losses, probably two losses still left on that schedule because their schedule's really ticking up at USC. But you're right. I mean, going to Baton Rouge is a different animal. The air is thicker down there. It brings out the crazies. Even the greatest of quarterbacks could look pedestrian out there. I've seen some weird things happen out there from quarterbacks, not just Auburn, but my goodness, I covered Mississippi State on a local level. I've covered Arkansas on a local level. I remember going down there and watching maybe the best Arkansas offense ever go down there. And they had to rally, come back. They went to overtime, and like everything that could go wrong for them was going wrong at the precise moment you need it to go wrong. And LSU pulled out a win. It's very strange down there. The fans, as you know, are rowdy. They rock those buses when you roll in and you start to park there. Peyton Thorne. Let me go back to this. I know I'm going everywhere, but when I was talking to Hugh Freeze back in, I think it was March, I was like, are you going to go get another quarterback? And he was like, nah, I think we're good with what we've got. And the more and more I obviously watch this Auburn offense, I'm like, what? Like, was he seeing something I didn't? I don't think that's the case. I wonder if it was just something like, I don't want to maybe scare off high school recruits by getting a quarterback who might be here a couple of years. Is that it? And he thought maybe I can just win enough with this 1 year with Peyton Thorne. I don't know. Because if you look at the tape with Peyton Thorne, he was at his best, like any quarterback would be, when he had two fantastic receivers and a Heisman candidate in the backfield at running back. Yep. And in the moment one or two of those guys left, that offense really went down, and he went down. All of his numbers in every category went down. And you're seeing it, man. He does not have elite receivers. He doesn't have elite speed around him. And when he goes on the road, he crumbles. And man, I just don't understand why Auburn was unable or maybe unwilling to go get a better quarterback out of the portal.
Yeah, and this will be the worst team that Hugh Freeze has. I mean, I like LSU minus 11.5. But the fan in me wants Auburn to go down there and play well, and who the hell knows? It's college football. It's Auburn LSU. But the analyst in me, just looking at the numbers and the eye test, I just don't see it.
We'll see. Brandon, I want to move to the ACC. We talked a little bit earlier about Miami's blunder last week, not taking a knee against Georgia Tech. You know, Haynes King comes back, throws that last-second touchdown. That moves Miami to 4-1. They go on the road. They play North Carolina, who is 5-0 now. How do you see this game going?
I think we're in for a little bit of shootout this week between those two. And everybody's kind of writing off Miami because of what happened, but Miami's still very good. I am more concerned about the step back that Miami's offense took last week at Georgia Tech. They looked out of sorts. I was not expecting that at all. Shannon Dawson's legit as an OC. We've seen that early in the season. It seemed like he and Tyler Van Dyke were on the same page. They were getting the best out of him. But Van Dyke, man, throwing the interceptions, some issues there. North Carolina is hitting its stride right now. They got Tez Walker back at receiver. They're only going to be getting better, you would think, offensively. I think that for Miami, their hope's got to be that NC goes back to that defense, those issues they had of last season under Gene Chizik. But it certainly seems like they are very well improved. Having said that, this just shapes up to be kind of a two gunslinging quarterbacks out there going at it back and forth in a game that probably ends up finishing in the 30s. So I think this game's a coin flip.
Yeah. So North Carolina will have Duke and Clemson later in the season. No Florida State on that schedule. And then for Miami, you know, you're playing North Carolina and Clemson back-to-back weeks here. What do you think the trajectory is for the rest of the season with these two programs?
Well, Miami's got at the very least split these next two. And I'm going to tell you, Clemson's still going to be beating teams this year. I don't care what anybody thinks of them right now. North Carolina, I think, is going to be in the ACC championship discussion. I personally think they'll be there. I think they're going to make the ACC championship game with that schedule that's remaining.
Yep. Well, we're talking ACC teams. Let's talk about this Louisville team. You saw what they did against Notre Dame. Plummer looked great. Braum looked great, and their defense, my biggest question always when it comes to Louisville, they got the athletes, especially the skill position, is their defense. And you roll through their schedule, right? No North Carolina, no Florida State. You have a Duke team at home, and then you finish at Miami and Kentucky at home. And we saw this what Georgia just did to them with the dad-son driveway situation. Do you think Louisville can maybe make some noise? And maybe, I don't know if they can still sneak up on people, but could you see Louisville maybe winning one game and maybe see themselves in the ACC championship?
They've won games a tough way, and they've won some games by going away. Jeff Braum, man, he just wins everywhere he goes. It's the best hire of this offseason so far in when we talk about year one results. And isn't it crazy? We got 3 undefeated teams remaining in the ACC, and they don't face each other at all.
It's wild.
One of them's not.
Worst case scenario.
Well, hey, best case for TV ratings for that conference because it's going to be
without
some
a
chaos
doubt
there near the end.
But what happens? I mean, at the end, like, is it Friday Night Lights? Like, we all meet at a gas station in the middle of nowhere and start flipping a coin?
Yeah, so something's got to give.
It happens. It happened on the FCS level last year. They had to do a coin flip to decide a place in a championship game last year.
God, I'd rather just put 3 fighters out there. And
Sickening.
I do want to say the Miami, North Carolina is a 3.5-point favorite. Ooh, gross. I wonder if that's going to move. But that over under 57, both offenses average over 500 yards. I'd probably lean toward that over 57 when it comes down to it. But Brandon, I do got to ask you, Missouri and Kentucky, I think it's going to be a weird game, but I'm looking at this Florida-South Carolina game. And you see the pressure. Obviously, there's pressure under head coaches every single game when you coach in the SEC. But you look at what Shane Beamer came out and said this week. Hey, we've been ahead of schedule this year. It's kind of regressed down to the mean or the median, whatever. I'm not a mathematician. Right now, South Carolina is a 2.5-point favorite. You look at Billy Napier over there in Florida. If they don't win this one at Florida, it could really roll into that bad year a lot of us kind of saw coming. But if South Carolina loses this one at home, not that they're going to get rid of Shane. I don't think they lose. I'm taking them probably at -2.5. I hope that number sticks. But when you look at this Florida-South Carolina game, are you leaning either way on it right now?
I'm leaning South Carolina at home.
Yeah, I agree.
And I trust their quarterback much more, especially at home. It's weird about Florida. I covered one of their games in person this year, the Utah game, the opener. Their losses, two of their losses have been against offenses that were very one-dimensional and have been one-dimensional all season. Utah and Kentucky, just very one-dimensional. As we saw, Kentucky got blown out last week because they were one-dimensional, and Georgia was able to tee off on the quarterback, do what they wanted to do, and put some pressure on them. But Florida going on the road, I really like South Carolina here. I think this might actually be one of those games where it's a coming out game for South Carolina, where they're scoring 30-plus points and Florida isn't able to do anything. I think this has the potential to be a blowout.
Look, I don't think that's a crazy take at all. It's going to be funny to see, South Carolina's one-dimensional in the opposite way those other two teams you mentioned, Utah and Kentucky, are. South Carolina's only averaging 87 yards a game on the ground. That offensive line's just defunct. But that front seven on defense, if Florida can't run the ball, or they try and go east and west like they did against Utah on the ground instead of going north and south, Grant Mertz is playing better than what I thought he was going to play, if we're gonna be honest with each other. But I don't think it's enough. And I've coached at that stadium before, up at Williams-Brice. I've seen how crazy that place gets, even at 2:30. It is going to be a madhouse, and South Carolina needs this one. This may be the game, though, David, where you get that special teams play from South Carolina.
Oh, yeah. Little Beamer ball.
This kind of feels like that game, right? They ran the fake punt against Tennessee, which was straight witchery. They just basically ran a rub route out wide with the Gunners. But I feel like this may be the kick return for a touchdown or the blocked punt for a touchdown. It smells like that one to me. But I like
Beamer
South
ball.
Carolina.
I actually do too. I think the home field advantage is just going to be huge in this game. You're not playing them in the swamp, and then you throw in Spencer Rattler and the plays he's able to make. I'm leaning South Carolina.
Yeah, coming off the loss to Tennessee. But Brandon, man, it's always great to have you on. You do a hell of a job. There's some great matchups this weekend. It's been a crazy year already at college football. We just needed to slow down. But tell everybody where they can find your work.
247sports.com. I know we didn't talk West Coast, but guys, how about that UCLA defense right now?
Dude, they're winning the opposite way they were designed to win. Isn't it crazy when that happens? Watching a Chip Kelly defensive team that can't throw the ball, it's just weird. It's just weird.
Some good coaching going on out there on defense.
They're really Pac-12 best conference in college football, would you say?
Yeah, I think it's the most entertaining, and top to bottom, it is the best.
I agree, at least right now. But we'll have you back on, talk all of it. It's going to get even crazier and wonkier down the stretch. Brandon Marcello, go check him out. Brandon, thanks for being a trooper, man. Thanks for coming on.
All right, see you guys.
All right. One of the best in the business.
Yeah, he is.
Brandon Marcello right there. I'm going to go ahead and get to the Booster Club chat. I've been trying not to sneeze for a while.
Just let it go, dude. Just let it go. All right, let's go to M. Hutton, our resident USC fan. He said, statistically, LSU is not a more complete offense than USC. USC leads the country in offense efficiency, scoring, and Williams leads the country in touchdown passes. I could go on.
Yeah, I mean, who they played.
Can you blame him for that?
No, I'm not blaming him for that, but I think LSU's played Florida State. I think LSU's played better competition. What I think, if LSU and USC played each other, number one, I'm taking the over. That would be an absolutely insane game offensively. But there isn't some wide gap here. Like, I'm not saying that LSU's offense is way, way better than in USC's over here. It's pick either one. You're in a great spot either way. I think LSU's offensive line is better than what USC's offensive line is. That's what I think. And I love Marshawn Lloyd, the back who transferred from South Carolina to out there to Southern Cal.
All right, let's go to MG, one of that's Machine Gun Kelly. He wants to know, if USC wins this game, all right, get a one-loss USC team and a Pac-12 champion make it to the playoff.
Yes.
If the ACC teams, if the one undefeated ACC team and a one-loss ACC not champion.
So you're saying that both of those teams make it in from the ACC? No, you're not having two teams from the ACC make it in. If you got a one-loss Pac-12 champion, they're getting in. You're going to have a team from the Big Ten, whether that's Michigan, Ohio State, that's in. You're probably going to get a team, if Florida State runs a table in the ACC, they're going to be in. And I'd be shocked if the SEC champion wasn't in.
So you're saying if SC beats Notre Dame this week?
Yeah.
But they still win the Pac-12?
With one loss.
With one loss, so who would their loss be to? Because they still have
So they
Utah,
lose, like, Oregon State or
Washington.
somebody.
They don't play Oregon State. So it'd have to be Utah, Washington, Oregon, or UCLA, which, look, they could use any one of those.
Pick
but as long as it's not in the conference championship game like we saw last year, then USC.
This year, a one-loss Pac-12 champion gets in.
For sure.
All right, let's go to a donation. It's Sam Giddens with a $5 donation. Appreciate it, Sam. Says, once upon a time, in the good old days, there was a top 10 big hit segment. Bring it back. If you had to pick the hardest hitter in college football right now, who are you taking?
The hardest hitter in college football right now, who am I taking? I would say Dallas Turner.
I was going to say Dallas Turner, too.
Bama. That's guy do not want
Dallas Turner, man.
Full speed.
Man, he's playing good.
He really is. He's put himself into a big-time pick. All right, we're going to get to the donations and everything at the end, but let's go and get to calls, David.
All right, let's go to Keegan in Iowa. Keegan, what's up?
Keegan.
Yo, good morning.
I was wondering if this was Keegan Murray. I was like, hey, man, you're out there playing pretty good.
No, I wish. I'd be making a lot more money right now.
Good point.
Yo, so I got a couple questions about America's team, and I'm not talking about the Dallas Cowboys. I'm talking about the Detroit Lions, baby.
There we go.
Nice.
So my questions are, I've been trying to convince my coworkers of this all week. Are the Lions better than the Cowboys? And do the Lions cover against Tampa this Sunday? They're currently favored by 3.
Is it at home?
It is in Tampa.
It is in Tampa. You know what? Yes, the Lions covered this week. How's Amon-Ra? Is he back ready to go, or is he out?
He's going to play.
He's going to play?
Dan Campbell says he's probably closer than not, but I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, well, that's a non-answer answer. Yes, I think the Lions do. It's right at 3. Man, I don't like taking things or 3s in the hook. I would get it at 2.5, and I'd go ahead and take that win, even though if the odds are a little bit less. I'm going to say yes and yes.
They're better than the Cowboys?
Yes, I'm going to say yes and yes.
The Cowboys, I don't know what to make of it.
I'm telling you, I just don't trust Dak Prescott. I think the defense is a little overrated, right? I think the defense is a little overrated, but they're still good. I just don't trust Dak. I don't trust him. I don't trust him as far as
who they played. They played one actual good football team, and that's the best in the league. The 49ers.
Beating the Giants 40-0 on the road.
The Jets, the Cardinals, and the Patriots. Now we're about to find out. You got the Chargers, Rams, Eagles. All right, now we're about to
find out. You're talking about the Cowboys?
Yes.
Yeah, who have 2 losses.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. I think we know a little bit more about the Cowboys. I don't think this is a one-off thing. The Niners are the best team in the NFL. You're not going to get an argument out of that from me. But when I look at the Lions, if the Lions are playing the Cowboys on a neutral site tomorrow, number 1, what do you think the spread is? And number 2, who you taking? I'm taking the gumball smuggler.
I think I'd probably take the Lions, too.
With J-Mo now, with J-Mo getting back in it, I'm taking the Lions. I believe.
Lions are an extremely good football team.
Well, the defense is better. The defense, even with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson being out now, but the defense is better. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson is out there, like you said, eating mud and just has 2 moves, and they always work.
Appreciate it, Keegan.
I'd like to publicly thank the Jacksonville Jaguars front office for giving us Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah,
all right,
you should write him a letter.
Get out of here. Don't come in my Jags. We're on the high right now.
I love it, Keegan.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, thanks, guys.
Call in next week. All right, let's go to Brian in Alabama. Brian, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are y'all doing?
Brian, what's up,
man?
buddy?
Hey, so can I start off with getting a War Eagle for my Aunt Pam? She passed away last month, and she was a huge Auburn fan.
Oh, well, War Eagle.
War damn Eagle.
Hate to hear that, man. That's tough, but again, it's one of those things where, I know she's in a better place.
Oh yeah, exactly. But I called because I really came here to talk about my team. First off, Trust Tree.
Yes, you're in it.
On Barnett Blazer.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
But so I wanted to talk about my Blazers for a little bit. We had a rough start so far, but we covered 5 out of our 6 games. We got brand new head coach, first time at the collegiate level coaching. Same for our offensive and defensive coordinator. We got a brand new offensive line. All of our starters are brand new. We've lost our starting wide receiver, our starting running back. We lost our star corner or our star safety, Jalen Key, to Alabama. All this year. Yet we're still doing surprisingly decent. And I was just wondering what y'all think about us for mainly next year. I think next year's a year when we could be really good. We got we got Zeno, who should be coming back, and we got our freshman in Amari Thomas, who from Pinson, my hometown, who shout out to him. But he's been doing great these past few games. So what do y'all think about UAB?
Well, look, I'm going to be honest. Trent's done better than what I thought he was going to do. I was big. I thought they should have hired Bryant Vincent. I have a personal connection there, and I love BV, but he's actually done better than what I thought. I'm not going to sit here and hate on the man. He did go nuts the other day on the sidelines. That was all over ESPN, which you can say whatever, but I think they have overachieved. I think he's made the transition well to college. Not that Trent doesn't know football, but so much more goes on than just knowing football when you get to this level. And you're the head coach. You have so many different jobs. But yeah, I mean, I think the future's bright. I look at UAB right now. I look at South Alabama, how strong both those teams. I look at Jacksonville State, who even though they lost last night, they're 5-2, moving to a new conference. Where Auburn's going with Hugh Freeze, that looks like it, at least up to this point. And we know Alabama, as long as Saban there, is going to be a problem. I don't know if there's ever been a time where the multiple schools in the state of Alabama have been this strong with this right of a future together, and UAB's one of them. I got to give Trent credit.
You think he's overachieving?
Yes.
Right now?
Yeah. Of what I thought, I thought it was going to be a disaster.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be, and I'm on record saying this. I thought it was going to be an absolute disaster. So according to what I thought, yes. Now, to the fans, I know UAB's used to having success. I don't know, but I can only speak from me personally.
And that schedule's kind of tough. I mean, one of those losses is to Georgia. You lost to Tulane. You had Georgia Southern on the road. You're still going to get UTSA and Memphis and Navy. Yeah.
Well, they went 7-6 last year and 9-4 the year before that. So there's some standards you got to live up to.
And it's not like your coach left. I mean, we know what happened with it was for health reasons. Yeah. So they've looked better. Beating USF, dropping a 56 piece on them last year or last week, that was big. But, to go to David's point, Georgia, Tulane, at Georgia Southern and Statesboro, we'll see. But can they get to a bowl game? It's going to be tough, man. That schedule's not getting a ton easier. But Trent's done better than what I thought.
Appreciate it, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, man. All right, we got Josh on the line in North Carolina. Josh, what's up?
What's up, Josh?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Going good, man. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. I'm going to try to roll through this stuff very quickly. I don't want to try to hog up the line.
Go ahead.
But first off, I wanted to apologize to the Booster Club. I got a little heated in the group chat the other day. I was having some hot takes about college football and NFL, and people. It was okay.
What'd you say, Josh?
Josh, like it's a trust tree. You're forgiven, man.
Thank you. But now let me proceed back to trash talking. So first off, to Syracuse. I love you, Jimbo, but we took you in the woodshed and we made you like it. First off.
Yeah.
Now,
they did.
Now to Texas. I need Texas to get off my lawn. They blow it every year. And every year they're like that. They're like the girl that's dating the guy that's like, oh, he's going to change. We're changed. We're different. Then every year you trot out this.
Yeah, he's not starting fires anymore.
Yeah, then you found out you hooked up with your mom.
Zach Wilson? She's dating Zach Wilson?
And also, I got some receipts from Texas fans because they were all week calling me nuts, crazy, whatever. UT Parking, he said, I'm trying to find it right here. UT Parking, he said they typically blow it in games like this, taunting me. And then he also said, I don't think Tom Herman's coaching Texas anymore. And then to that, I would say you're right, and it's Sark who tends to start blowing it rather than winning a couple games and then falling off the wagon. But okay, and then one Texas fan said, "Oh, here it is. That guy Kick said Mac Brown isn't the coach. Sark has his guys in a different mentality. Yeah, the mentality of getting our butts whooped up front on the line. Exactly. You're right. And also, Mac Brown won you a championship. So what are you talking about?
Look, Mac's still doing it. He's like 130 years old.
But yes. Anyways, my whole point is I'm not going to believe in Texas, and I knew you saying Texas was back was premature. And so,
well, I mean, they still can make the playoffs. They're going to play Oklahoma again.
They could still make the playoffs, but I think they're going to lose 1 to 2 more games. I think they're going to do it again because I've seen the story a million times, and until you show me something different, it's the same movie over and over and over again.
I can understand that. I can. There's logic in that. You know, there's logic in that. But it's always fun when you call in, Josh. It's always fun. Good luck this weekend.
All right. Thank you, man.
See you, Josh.
See you, man. All right, we got Hunter in Arkansas. Hunter, what's up?
What's up, Hunter?
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Morning to you.
I realized 2 things this weekend. The NFL season's crazy. The amount of injuries that happened this weekend was absolutely crazy. The fantasy team's crying everywhere right now. And the second thing I learned is I'm pretty sure Auburn broke Boyne this season.
Broke me? Look, dude, yeah, I've been broken.
Because all off season this year, since I've been watching Crane & Co., Blaine's always taking digs at Texas and Texas A&M. I haven't heard Blaine insult Texas A&M in like 3 weeks. And then he was all Team Texas last week. And then they blew it.
You talking about that A&M?
Okay. You want me to get on here and rag A&M? Trust me, buddy. I'll be in the front line. I got the fast pass to that. Welcome to Disney World. The whole state of Texas blew it. They choked. That's what they do. They're pretty boys. Set it on his face. They're a bunch of pretty boys. They got the Brian Harsin syndrome. Bunch of house cats. That's what they are. And you saw the difference in the Oklahoma game, right? Oklahoma, from a receiver and DB standpoint, from a physicality standpoint, had to go hunt. They needed that physicality. They need you on that wall. They want you on that wall. And Texas's ass and A&M's ass is too scared to go get on that wall. I shouldn't have believed in them. I'll never believe in them. Trust me. If you think I want to sit here and listen to Texas A&M, oh, well, this is the year, guys. This is the year again. No, it's not. You're going to choke it. You're going to blow it. You always do. Clip that shit.
Wow.
Well, there you go, Hunter.
Also, did y'all see TJ Watt punch Zay Flowers?
Nothing would surprise me with TJ Watt.
He's trying to get the ball out.
Yeah, TJ Watt apparently broke 3 fingers and just popped them back in and ran back on the field.
He hit him right in the chest.
Yeah, he's basically Switowski, but just the opposite, the
Ravens had 7 drops in that game.
Yeah, the Ravens for 185 yards. Scores. I saw the numbers. It was nuts. No, Hunter. Look, I mean, at this point, right? Texas, you still got a chance. A&M, it's do or die now. It's do or die. I mean, it's looking like die. If we're gonna be honest, I mean, it's basically Pat die out here. So, man. Thanks for calling in, though.
Appreciate it, Hunter.
See you, Hunter.
Thanks, Hunter.
All right, man. Let's go to Cody in Illinois. Cody, what's up?
Cody, what's up, buddy?
This is update.
All right, who's ready for a QB 10 update?
Yes, I've been waiting for this.
How's it going?
All right, so this week it's good old rivalry week, and we have the game. Now, I wanted to quick get to something that Cone brought up the last time I called. I did not realize that the Michigan record for passing touchdowns was so low at 25. So with his 5-touchdown game against Indiana, he, as a freshman, broke Chad Henne, Elvis Gerbach.
Wow.
Let's go, baby.
Great
Better than
job.
Chad Henne, David.
Great job.
25.
So how many touchdown passes do I have right now?
29 for the season.
Okay.
Wow.
So we broke that record. You know what?
Going into this game.
It means nothing. It means nothing if you don't win this game, Cody. Did we win it?
All right. So I have a few other things.
I don't like the tone in his voice. You guys lost.
Trying to trick me. I know you can.
On the recruit. We're talking about recruiting.
Recruiting trail. Yep. So we have
we lost.
5-star guard out of California, number 1 in the country, coming to Michigan to come protect Mr. Cone.
I like that.
Best friend. Heard you hosted,
committed.
I heard you hosted him on his official.
We needed the result of the Michigan State Penn State game, and little brother came through.
They came through?
No, you guys beat, though.
Yep.
Wow,
Yep.
they beat Penn State.
6-4 Michigan State beat Penn State. So
Look at that.
So we will start with the stats. 8 of 16 for 52 yards.
You get hurt?
0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Oh
no, he played the whole game.
I played the whole game.
It was
And
bad.
Michigan went down to the shoe and lost 43-7.
Oh, it was a murder.
43-7?
It was a murder. I'd decommit.
43-7?
Golly.
Wow.
Enjoy the Meineke Car Care Bowl.
Wow, 43-7. We didn't even show up. I got to resign as head coach.
No, not at all. Even Mike Hart didn't do much. He had 1 touchdown but less than 100 yards.
Yep. Thanks, Cody. Great call, man.
Cody, thank you, buddy. You know what that needs? You know what that needs?
I'll take my leave, y'all.
Yeah, that's a dark spot in your career at Michigan. You know what you need? You need a dark spot corrector. All right. And it's no secret that our friends at Genucel Skincare, they got that. You might be asking, what does this product even do? Well, if you have sunspots, brown spots, discoloration, dry skin, or you just blew it against your rival on the road with a chance to go to the College Football National Championship, with the Genucel Dark Spot Corrector, you can watch those blemishes disappear in front of your very eyes. Rumor has it you can even go 16 for 16. They have tutorials you can see, but you can take advantage of Genucel's most popular package, which includes the Dark Spot Corrector plus the classic Genucel bags and puffiness treatment and immediate effects for almost 70% off. You can't get anything for 70% off nowadays. That's basically free. All right. And last time, the Booster Club sold out Genucel. So let's do that again. They're so confident in their product. You can try them for yourself, risk-free. If you don't see results in one day, you'll get your money back. And it's simple. Go to Genucel.com, GENUCEL.com/booster, and start looking years, even decades younger tomorrow and play better against Ohio State. So say hello to the best skin you've ever had at Genucel.com/booster. That's Genucel.com/booster.
8 for 16, 50 yards,
that
2
sucks.
picks.
That sucks. You know,
Damn, Peyton Thorne.
Hey, Sean Ketzever, our boy sent us some ketchup chips.
Oh, this is perfect timing. Because you know who's on the line?
Who?
Kirk in Canada.
Kirk,
look what we got, buddy.
That's so gross.
Oh, enjoy those ketchup chips. You can have them.
All right, well, it's
it.
not a Canadian brand, but Lay's, hold on.
I have to try these, Kirk.
No, I mean, they're good. They're good.
Give them a shot. But do they actually taste like ketchup, though? I think they taste like something.
I mean, no, that's my whole point. They're called ketchup chips, but they don't. It's not like you just got.
These
ketchup.
are good.
Like they're legitimately.
Are you
good.
the one hating on these?
They're not good, though.
They are good.
Ma'am, these are good.
They are good. But Kirk, what's up, man? NHL.
What's going on, Kirk?
NHL started last night, boys. Good times.
Yeah.
The good news for Blaine is that neither Toronto or Philadelphia played last night, so the line is still 0.
Right. Still covering. I'm hearing a lot of good things out of Philly right now.
Well, yeah, what are you hearing?
A lot of good things.
What'd you hear?
Heard this new kid we got special.
That new kid, huh?
Yeah.
I heard they're flying around out there.
Yeah. They're Russian planes don't crash. But please continue, Kurt.
That's hilarious.
Well, here's what I know. I know that Toronto's plus 900 to win the cup, and Philadelphia's plus 1,200.
1,000 million.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah, that's odds are better than I thought.
Look, I had a plus 1,200 the other day. Jacoby Myers. Look,
y'all play tonight? The Leafs play tonight?
Yep. Leafs play tonight, and the Flyers play tomorrow night.
Who do the Leafs got tonight?
Montreal.
Mm.
These chips are so good.
Oh, so we got the Blue Jackets game 1 on the road.
Columbus.
All right, ESPN Plus.
Love
plus,
it.
plus/+.
They just fired their coach, didn't they?
Yeah.
Look, I need the Flyers to send me some merch, dude. Like, I need y'all to send me some merch.
They're not going to do it.
I bet you I could. I bet y'all could do it.
If you guys want to learn a little bit more about hockey, you got to listen to a guy named Don Cherry. So write that name down. Don
I
Cherry.
do want.
I taught him everything he knows.
I do want to say this. From reports I saw yesterday, Barry Melrose is retiring, has Parkinson's. Just awful. I'm going to tell you something. As a kid that grew up in the South who cared nothing about hockey, the only person that when they were talking about hockey that I would watch is Barry Melrose. Like
So
just
good.
so good, but like funny and had that personality. It's just he was electric. He actually would keep my attention when hockey was on. So prayers to his family and it just I hate that for him, but Barry Melrose, man, one of the true legends. I just want to give him a shout out.
Thanks, Kirk.
Keep an eye out for Connor Bedard this year.
Yep. Saw him last night.
Sidney Crosby.
Yeah, you keep an eye out for those Flyers, Kirk. That's what you need to keep an eye out. 12 and a half, buddy.
Keep an eye out for Skyhook, too.
Yeah. 12 and a half.
Right
Get
on.
you out of there.
See you, buddy.
See you,
All right. Let's get to one more here quick. Caden in Baton Rouge. Hey, Caden, you have 30 seconds. What's going on, man?
Hey, morning, boys. Go Tigers.
What's up, man?
To cover the spread on Auburn, shoot, you might want to buy that line of -14.
It ain't happening.
He said you might want to buy that.
I think LSU covering is one of the best bets of the weekend.
I do too, actually.
I don't.
Okay.
It's great down here, although it's a rainy day, so not too much of an environment over here. But one thing, if you ever see these guys on TV got paint on their chest, we lead that group. We got 12 guys painting up this week for the Auburn game, and we're trying to think of some phrases to put on our chest.
12, so a 12 word. Okay.
12. What you said?
12 guys.
12 guys.
Okay.
So 11 words and an exclamation mark. That's what I'm seeing.
Could do that.
Well, yeah, 11 letters. I would say this. JD5 FORHEISMA. 13. It's 13. JD5 for Heisman. I think JD5 for Heisman. I'm trying to think of something good though. I don't know. We'll put something on social. Yeah, I don't want to rush it too much. I don't want to be too generic. I want something really good.
Yeah.
I want something really good.
We'll get back to you. That's awesome though, Caden.
Hey, F Dragon.
On those,
good.
Yeah.
Flaming Dragon.
Flaming Dragon. How many is that?
Yeah, Flaming Dragon. How many is that? That is true. 7.
I can't count that high.
That's 13.
Well, you can find a 13th guy.
Auburn needs FD.
Yes.
Auburn
yes.
needs Flaming Dragon.
That would be, Caden, that would be hilarious.
I will literally take a picture of my TV and blow it up into a poster and put it in my house.
Ooh.
And then it'll blow up the house.
Yeah. Hey, you let me know what I can do to help.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Caden, y'all just make sure y'all make it to the game, man. It's not till 6. I know how y'all get down there too.
Oh man, we go crazy over here. I mean, train's not stopping. We're going to the Natty this year, 13-2. Go ahead and put a future on it right now. We're going all the way.
Well, I picked you on the playoffs, so that'd be great for me.
Me too.
So
I had you on the championship.
Just please let me know. Please let me know. All right.
All right.
Great job on calls.
Thanks, man.
As usual, all around the globe, from Canada to Baton Rouge, both French. All right, we're going to get to the donation.
I can't get enough of these ketchup.
I told you they're good.
Man, these are good.
You got people over here running their mouths saying they're not good.
They don't even taste like ketchup.
Taste weird.
Bro,
they're good. I think they're good. They just don't taste like ketchup.
Fine, eat them all. I don't care.
But that's what I said, though. It's misleading.
Yeah.
We agree on that.
Lies.
All right. Going to get to donuts in a minute. Last night, 1-1. Middle Tennessee finally came through. Now I don't have to go drop off that strongly worded letter to Murfreesboro and Rick Stockstill, who stocks back up after they beat a La Tech team that, let's just be honest, not a great time, Bob. But do until Jacksonville State and Rich Rod. Man, thanks for really blowing it at the end for this to go plus 7.5. Put out 3 college football bets yesterday. Hit the under in App State and Coastal 2. I'll take 2-1 and plus money every night. But tonight, hey baby, it's Wednesday Friends Day, right? We got some more college football on. Conference USA. Give me FIU at home versus UTEP. All right, money line. Now the quarterback's a little bit beat up. I just think Dana DeMel's on his way out. The JUCO situation really didn't work out for him there. I think what FIU's done this year has actually been decently impressive. Just give me FIU on the money line at a dirty -130. Then New Mexico State, all right, at home against Sam Houston State. Really thought about taking this under at 42 because it's probably going to be.
Sam Houston's played well.
But Sam Houston, well, they're 0-5.
No, but covering-wise.
Yeah, really good on defense. The offense is kind of starting to figure it out. I've actually watched them a decent amount of times because I'm a degenerate, bet on it. But New Mexico State plays pretty good at home. Jerry Kill got a tattoo. I believe in it. Give me New Mexico State -2.5. I bought that. I'm not doing 3 in the hook because I put money on this. I'd rather win $150 than lose $150. So I'll buy it down a point and take it at -150 at -2.5.
Yeah, well, I'm still trying to deal with the ramifications of blowing it on the biggest stage over here. But maybe I can make up for it with my picks. Braves, Phillies, Nerfy, no runs in the first inning, -105. And then Braves money line, +102. Don't care who we throw. I don't care if undecided goes up there against Aaron Nola. Give me the Braves, chop on.
Yeah, all right. Well, this is what I'm taking. Kind of sucks yesterday. I lost an over-under in the Middleton.
Oh, what is that? How does that
from
feel?
an extra point? So that kind of sucks. But hey, whatever. I didn't bet money on it. I'll forever not bet money on those games. But today I'm taking Sam Houston State +3.5, -110. I think it's going to be a close game. Now give me Nola on the mound over 6 Ks +140. And what you're going to do with this is you're going to ladder this.
Oh,
right. You're going to ladder this bet.
Baseball bet?
3+ Ks, 4+ Ks, 5+ Ks, 6+ Ks, and I'd even go to 7+ Ks. And you enjoy that money you're going to get.
You just climb the ladder there. Love to see it. Ace, he's going to ride the Lightning with your boy. He's going to go FIU money line at also a dirty 130. Then he's going to take New Mexico State money line at -170. You go 2-0, go up a full unit. I can respect it. I just love that we have football on every day for like the next 8 years, which is just amazing. It fills me with blossoming personal joy. All right, let's get to the donos.
Quickly, hold on. Stephen Moore. The man who's always correct.
Yes, you donate $500, you're always correct.
It says French fries and gravy flavored Lays are good. Rotisserie chicken flavored Lays are tasty.
Okay, let's bring it back.
That's the fattest thing I've ever heard.
Weird to me, Steve.
That's the fattest thing I've ever heard. Not saying
you're making rotisserie chicken flavored chips.
Someone's already calling me Mott Stick Stacy in here for eating
Yeah, it's like I have diabetes just thinking about that.
Look, you're not Mott Stick Stacy, Cohen. I promise you that.
Mott
you started eating that bag. You're not her. All right. So let's get some donos here. Let's go to Reed Gentry with a $5 donation. What's up, Reed? Says, good morning, Booster Club. First time donor, long time
Nice.
listener. How about them Rangers? Hashtag go and take it.
Yeah.
I
got 2 teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, you listen to that Creed, man. I'm telling you. Scott Stapp.
Let's go to Will Hyatt with a $5 donation. As a Mets fan, living right next to the hellhole that is Philadelphia.
Oh, God.
Like that, buddy. I have one thing to say to you boys.
Say it says chop on.
Chop on.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. It's exactly right. Look, you got to, sometimes the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yep.
Right? The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Let's go to Arik Kasky with a $5 donation. Arik, thank you, man. He says, excuse me, a little action question. What do you guys think of my Ohio Bobcats this year? Could they win the MAC?
Yeah, they could. I think them and Toledo. There's a couple. I need to go back and look at exactly the MAC standings right now. But Ohio, I mean, from the beginning of the year, San Diego State, when O'Rourke went out, they did lose that game. But I think Ohio's one of the top teams in the conference along with Toledo. Those would be the 2 teams.
MAC still has divisions.
Yep, MAC does.
So Ohio's 2-0 in the East, and Miami of Ohio and Ohio are both 2-0 in the East, as well as Buffalo, and then Toledo's 2-0 in the West.
Yeah, so you could have Ohio and Toledo in the championship, right? Okay, that's what I'm taking.
Cope 19, quickly, App State let me down on my parlay last night. Should never trust them to win the game they're supposed to win.
Should have taken the under. I put it out on social. I put 3 bets out when there's 3 games, 2 bets out when there's 2 games, and obviously we do the show bets. Went 2-1 last night.
All right, poll.
Who
wins? USC or Notre Dame?
Look, a lot of people are down on Notre Dame. I'm going to say they're picking USC 57%.
I picked USC 58%.
All right. Notre Dame, 52%.
Wow.
USC, 48%.
Little love for the Irish.
Y'all listening. We appreciate it. We thank you for listening. We thank you for watching. Without you guys, there is no us. I mean, we hit over 100,000 subs. We're on our way to 200, and we are eternally grateful. So thank you guys for that. Thanks for the calls, chats, donos, all that stuff's fantastic. Go buy some merch. Check out our sponsors. Thanks to Brandon Marcello. We got a great show for you tomorrow, and then Friday there's football on all the time.
Y'all make sure to let David know on Twitter you blew it.
Yeah.
No, I already know it. You don't have to let me know.
And the chances of NCAA football, David Cohn reaching the national championship this year. Going.
Come on. Throw it.
Go. Ah! Gone.